Now, from the studios of 106.7 My Talker Radio, the man, the legend, the one who just drives you crazy, Curtis Wright, on the beat.
Hour number 2, 7:05 across southeastern North Carolina. Going to get a little chilly, or more chilly, I should say, going on through the week. National Weather Service says. So watch it. It's about in the 50s, and it was up to almost the 70s if it wasn't in some parts yesterday. So watch the weather, keep yourself warm, and keep it tuned on the new 106.7 FM My Talker Radio. Well, as I said, you probably just heard one of our promos for an event that's taking place here in southeastern North Carolina, March 1st. That spring's on the way, and so is the annual Cape Fear Council Scout Show. He's back in studio with us, and we're going to have his video tape interview up, and I say that because he's all dressed, he's in uniform, and he's here to inform you not only about the Cape Fear Scout Show, but what's going on with the local Boy Scout Council, the Cape Fear Council, and it's our good friend and former school board member Steve Bilzi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
You know, it's when I sit down, and I was, as always, having dinner with George Rage on Friday evening and talking about you coming into the studio, and of course the response was, "Oh, how's Steve? You know, how long have we known each other? My gosh, it's been years and years."
That's right. That's when we had hair.
And all the kids growing up. And are you done with that yet? What'd you have? Like 20 kids, right?
I think somewhere in there. Yeah, got a basketball team.
Yeah. And you've been in the news because of a lot of things that you continue to do, and your family does in the community. So scouting's not a big surprise. You're still with it, and we're here. First, let's talk and get caught up a little bit on the Cape Fear Council, how young men and families can get involved, and what's going on over there.
Oh, that's a great, Boy Scouts is probably the best thing you can do for kids to get them to give them the character, and with the families that get involved, it's just so wonderful. If you want your boy to be well-rounded, and the three aims of scouting are citizenship, fitness, and character. So I mean that kind of says it all. So if you want your boys to be involved in something that they can be proud of what they do, and they can be sometimes they can get made fun of in school. And what I tell my son to tell everybody is, if there's ever an emergency, you're going to be a lot happier to be with me than I am going to be hanging out with you. So it's just the greatest thing for these kids. They are just proud of what they do. If you come to the show that's coming up that I know you've been helping us with for this Saturday, you'll just see it. The skills that they have, the way they carry themselves, they build leaders. It's build leaders in character. That's what it's all about, and it's just wonderful.
And there's not much. I'm trying to think, what is out there, but I know there's sports, but that's not the same. There's not much as far as organizations that are like this, where the father-son are there together. The family is there together.
Not really, and it's a family organization too. Mm-hmm. It's so powerful. You see, our committee our troop committee has such powerful parents in it that help keeping the troop going. It's just a neat thing. Everything about it, you make such great friends. Scout Sunday, you all go to church together at the same church it's just wonderful. Everything about it is just. It keeps you young, keeps you jumping. You get to go out and go to West Virginia for these big camporees and jamborees and the campouts and the canoes and all the things that we do are just things that the kids they do virtually now. You either play a game or you live it. And we live it.
I started out, and I think I've told you this before for any of our listeners that maybe have heard these stories, and it's been a while. I started out in sports like all young guys do, and then got involved as a Cub Scout, and then as a Weeblo, and then in Boy Scouts, and it was very, very. It was an important time in my life, the whole experience. But when I finally got into Boy Scouts, our troop had become too large. It was massive. It was just massive, and a couple of the leaders decided, okay, it's time to set up a new troop. So it was about 5 or 6 of us boys that were leaders, and then with the men, the adult leaders, and we started a new troop, Troop 134. And what an unbelievable experience that was. And that was all the way through probably until my junior year in high school. But I look back on those years and all the different things. I was so cool because the leader was a vet from Vietnam. His family where we grew up outside of Philadelphia, out and at the end of the main line there in the Radnor area, owned thousands of acres. So, I mean, I don't know of a weekend, or let's put it this way, I don't know of a month where at least 3 times a month we didn't have an opportunity if we wanted to go camping.
That's right.
And it was so cool.
There you
now,
go.
you add to that all the other things, going to the mountains of Pennsylvania for a month or 2 at a time, going to, as you said, the jamborees, going to all the different events that we competed in and all that. And, you know, I never became an Eagle Scout or any of that. I think I was, what, is it first class?
First class, yeah.
You know, and a troop leader and all that. But it was just a fabulous experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I haven't given it up yet. I've been involved since 1953. You know, when I was a Cub Scout. So I mean, 56.
And the leaders that do it, like yourself, I just admire you guys because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of dedication. I don't think I've met a troop leader that didn't put 150% into it because. It's just because the ones who don't aren't usually there very long.
No, that's it. That's true. Yeah, we have a pretty good core, a pretty good critical mass of people that just keep it going and retain the same values and the same drive to exceed and excel and develop leadership. And it's a boy-run organization, as you know, having been a Boy Scout. You know, so it's great to see. And this Scout Show coming up this weekend, my troops running it. I don't have we didn't meet with a bunch of guys and all the men sit around and do it. My troops doing it. It's just going to be so great. You'll just see a bunch of boys running the whole thing.
I learned so much. And then I learned, really, to be honest, if I really am truly honest, my true close relationship to my father, yes, there was a certain relationship when I was younger, and I always was, of 5 kids, the closest with my father. But it was when he and I did Scouts together that it went to a whole nother level.
Amen.
And it was great. It was very important to me growing up. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. You know, because I am involved 110% in politics here, that there have been some things that have been said and done and some things going on with the Boy Scouts these last couple of years that people have been concerned about. But I've looked at it this way. The reason I have had faith that it will all be okay is that the Boy Scouts are really run, I would say, locally. Aren't they not, the troops?
Absolutely.
Locally.
Absolutely.
It's your community.
Mm-hmm.
It's your involvement. It's your parents. It's your leaders that are involved. Is that not true?
No, that's absolutely right. Nothing's changed in our case. You know, we're doing everything we did before, and you know, there's a couple zero-sum games going on out there that kind of give us trouble now and again, but we haven't changed anything for 100 years, and we really don't intend to.
I mean, I don't remember. I mean, you probably know more than I do because of the structure of Scouts and leaders and being a Scoutmaster and all. But it's really about that troop, is it not?
Yep.
And who runs that troop and who's part of that troop, and that's how you should look at the Scouts. And you really, I think, and I was very fortunate that we were ones who started it. But a lot of times when I remember our Scout leaders saying, well, why don't you just come on out and check us out? Why don't you spend some time with us? There's no pressure. And see if, you know, this is the right thing for you.
We have some new people visiting us tonight that just came into town from Massachusetts, and they're going to come out and check out the troop. So they'll be there tonight and see what and they've been in the troop in Massachusetts. I have no idea what their situation is. It's going to be neat to compare notes and see what they were doing, what they were involved in. They're going to come check us out if it's a good fit, if it's something that they like what they do. But there's a lot of good troops here in Wilmington to get involved in, and there's what we call some of the high adventure troops, the leadership troops, there's service troops, and you know, they have their little bailiwick, but besides doing a lot of the main things like camping and things like that, there can be a good fit, but it does depend on the individual troop, and you want to find a great fit in people that you feel comfortable with, just like any other organization.
And you know, back to my comment earlier, I mean, you know this, that there are very few things that we seem to have anymore where fathers and sons, and it's very, very, very important. If you don't think it's important, check the stats of the father and son relationship. If you want to raise productive and, you know, I would say adults, male adults of character and integrity, this is one of those things that still does it.
And more than the father and the son, the other fathers and sons.
Yes.
They all get involved.
That's right.
In a group.
It's like a community.
We spend a week in summer camp together, and the kids are just so bonded, not only with each other, but with a lot of these adult leaders, that it's just, it goes on for a lifetime. I see kids that I've been involved with the Scouts 20, 30 years later. My son's best friends are still the guys he met in Scouts.
Let's take a break. We'll be back with Steve Bilzi here. He's a Scoutmaster with the Cape Fear Council here in southeastern North Carolina. We're going to talk about the show, March 1st, coming up on Saturday at Brunswick Forest in Leland. I'm Curtis Wright, and we're on the beat.
Curtis,
Yes, good morning.
you're on a roll this morning, doing great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Curtis Wright.
Curtis Wright.
Curtis Wright.
20 across southeastern North Carolina, 720 on the new 106.7 FM My Talker Radio. I'm Curtis Wright on the beat. In studio with us, it's been a while. Scoutmaster Steve Bilzi is with us here to talk about the annual Cape Fear Council Scout Show. It's this Saturday, March 1st from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Brunswick Forest in Leland. And as always, folks, you can count on a good time for the family and lots of things to see at the annual Cape Fear Council Scout Show. I want to start out first before we get to some of the details. How large, give us some nuts and bolts on the Cape Fear Council. How large and what area does it encompass?
The council encompasses 5 counties, and it's broken up into districts. So our local district, for example, is the Coastal District. That's Brunswick and New Hanover County, and it goes over to up to Duplin and Onslow and Columbus and out by Laurinburg. It's southeastern North Carolina is Cape Fear Council, and the summer camps up in White Lake, up in Elizabethtown area. So you get some idea of the scope of the local.
So
council.
this show is the Cape Fear. We got it right, did we get it right? The Cape Fear Council.
Well,
show?
this is
I mean, how many
coastal
districts?
This is a coastal district. This
Okay.
is we invite late on. We invite some of the other districts to take part and come in and go through the show as public. But this is the coastal district, so it's basically Brunswick County. And we moved it over to Brunswick County this year to try to draw in. Brunswick County is such a big county. We have it always in Hugh McRae Park, and it's hard sometimes to draw in the kids from the other end of this district. So.
Now, Brunswick Forest, now tell us where in Brunswick. When you come in the gate, there's a huge parking lot there that's to the right. That's some shopping there. Well, tell us where it's going to be so folks know where to look for it.
Well, if you go into Brunswick Forest, if you take that first entrance in there and you take that right past Lowe's and all those new shops, just continue on, and there's a big, about 40-acre field just beyond it.
Okay.
And it's right there. There's a big field, wide open field, one tree on the whole thing. It's going to be in their next phase.
So they won't.
But
So you won't miss it going in.
You won't miss it because you'll see it right from 17. As a matter of fact, if you go past Brunswick Forest and take your next left, that's probably the best way to get in because that's where the parking will be. So.
Okay, so there's free parking. There's plenty of parking there for folks. It'll be that. Yeah, maybe that's the best thing is take the second entrance if you're coming from the Wilmington area. If you're coming from the other course, it's the first entrance on the right. Talk to us. Walk us through. I said a lot. I tried to fit in as much as I can. We first were going to do a 30-second for you, but we ended up doing a minute because there's so much going on. There's so much going on.
That's great. Yeah, there is a lot going on, and we're so thankful to that. The service community, the people that take care of us every day are so involved and so interested in scouting that they come out and they present not only for the scouts, for the public. So it's a unique opportunity for the public to come through. And by the way, for the public, it's like 11 to 5, but in a lot of our cases, we'll go out there Friday and camp out, and we'll stay there and we'll set up camp. And so you'll get to see what we do as a camp too.
Now back up a little bit because you jumped over. What you're talking about is first responders. So there's going to be all kinds of fun vehicles and stuff there that they bring the kids, fire trucks, armored vehicles, and is the helicopter that's coming, is that Sable?
Sable's coming, yeah. Okay. Sable's going to be flying in. The estimate right now is about in the late afternoon, probably 3:30.
Okay.
So 3:30, 4:30. I think 3:30 is what they. In fact, I know 3:30 is when they said they'd be flying in. So it'd be a unique opportunity, kids, to get to see the helicopter, and probably, if they're there at the right time, get to walk through it. And so they'll be there, and not only them, but they'll have the hazmat teams coming with them. They'll be able to put on the hazmat suits and check that out. And I don't know if you've taken. I took the Citizens Academy here, and I got to see a lot of this stuff. It's just so neat to see. We are such a unique area in what we have for the size that we have. We have a hazmat team. We have an incredible SWAT team. We have an incredible first responder in every sense of the word. The diver team, the fireboat, all these. The fireboat won't be there, but can't.
But
get
some
that.
armored vehicles are going to be there. You said the military is going to be there. Some of our military folks are going to be there.
They're supposed to be. They're balking right now. I don't know about the military. They
Budget maybe issues.
Yeah, they got other things going on. So, there's so many other things there that even if they're not there, nobody will even miss it. But I'm going to be calling them this morning and see, hey, what's going on here? But that always happens.
Get Tom Russell on the phone. Maybe he can get some
there.
And then, as you said, there's going to be There's going to be a bunch of scouting stuff, such as the camping demos, and there's going to be actually some special events like the crossover extravaganza and a flag retirement ceremony. Talk to us about that.
Well, at the end of the day, when it starts to get dark, we allow for some time. About this time of the year is when the Cub Scouts finish up with their Weeblos. You said you were a Weeblo, and they cross over into Boy Scouts. So we have a big ceremony with all the Indian regalia, Indian dancing, and the drums and all that, and a big bonfire when they cross over into Boy Scouts. And a lot of the Cub Scout packs in the area take advantage of the one we put on at the Scout Show for a really extra special, and some of them do it a second one just for an extra special ceremony for the kids to get crossed over into Boy Scouts and join a new troop. So the new Scoutmaster is there, the Cubmaster we have a bridge that they go over, and there's a whole big ceremony, cool. And they cross over from the Packmaster. The Cubmaster hands over the boy to the new troop, and the Scoutmaster and the senior patrol leader is there. It's a real big ceremony. We really kind of gear it up to make it really a memorable experience for them. And then after that, we have one of the troops, Troop 26, is bringing a bunch of flags to be retired with Marines that the Marines would like to have retired for their fallen comrades. So we're going to have a really moving flag retirement ceremony. If you've never seen one of those, it's something pretty neat to see.
Now, about what time do you think that will be?
That'll all be after we close, starting at about 5:30.
Okay, so keep that in mind as far as timing. And by the way, there's going to be, you said there's all kinds of other events. You have down here jousting and building monkey bridges and all kinds of other stuff. As you said, the hazmat suits and the hazmat folks will be there. Log towers are being built. It's just it's like a jamboree. We're
trying, we're trying. It's new in Brunswick County, so this is an experiment for us this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works out over there. It's worked out great over at Hugh McRae Park for years. So
now, and this is a great opportunity. I would assume this is a great opportunity for those who are thinking about Scouts with their kids to also come out. This is this is kind of like an introduction, connect.
That's
right?
kind of the idea. We want to. It's showcasing scouting and showcasing what scouting is all about and the things we're involved with, and shows all the organizations that value scouting. So it's maybe one of the best ways to get out there. And you go to a troop meeting, they may be having a meeting as an administrative meeting when they're sitting there talking all night. It happens, So, but if you go to one of these things, you can see what we actually do, the activities and all the great things that we do.
Will the different troops be displaying, have their own setups?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
If you look on, we have even a map here. You can kind of see where the troops are all in a big circle, and all the stuff is in the middle of the circle, and then the troops are in form around that circle, and then we have a whole area for the community partners.
So it's perfect for folks if they want to connect. They can find the troop that would be their troop for their sons, they can come out and connect.
And that may be one of the best ways, because you can guarantee that the most active troops and the troops that are the most involved in doing the things are going to be there. There are some troops that aren't quite as active and are just getting started, or it's a volunteer organization. Some of them are in the throes of getting themselves organized, so they might not even. A lot of them aren't coming. So we have so many troops here. If they all came, we'd have to probably have more than 40 acres. But
well, it's going to be a full day of just all kinds of activity, and a great way to connect with the Scouts. It's a great way to get an introduction to those leaders who are involved in the Scouts here in southeastern North Carolina. Again, it's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then after 5 p.m., there's those special ceremonies going on, right? And that's at Brunswick Forest in Leland. Very simple, easy to get to. Plenty of parking for folks. If you want to find out more information specifically, go to SBILZI. That's SBILZI.com. You can also link on our website, WMYT1067FM.com. Thank you, Steve, for coming in.
I appreciate it. Tell people they can stay later if they want.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can try to stop by. I'd love
That'd be
to.
great.
And folks, this is a great opportunity for the family to get out this Saturday, again, March 1st, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Brunswick Forest for the annual Cape Fear Council Scout Show. We'll be right back with Representative Chris Millis. I'm Curtis Wright.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Robin Walensky. The notion that